You're listening to The Public Square, and a special musical journey through the career of Southern gospel legend and our friend Ernie Haase of Ernie Haase and Signature Sound, who are currently touring the country with events featuring patriotic and gospel songs in celebration of our nation's upcoming 250th anniversary. Recently, Dave Zanotti sat down with Ernie after a live video recording of the upcoming special, America, Land of Hopes and Dreams. We hope you enjoy this program filled with lots of Ernie's memories and music.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of rain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea.
Kind of fascinated with America, Land of Hopes and Dreams. And you and I have had the privilege of talking about it. And I'm going to say, I went back and looked at some tests. I guess I didn't really realize how long we've been collaborating in that conversation with original drafts, and then you went out and workshopped this idea. So what you're experiencing on the road surprised us both in regards to audience response to a program about America.
Yeah. Patriotism is not a right-left thing. Because America has allowed and enabled us, this is my take, enabled me to live a great life. I've been blessed. I've lived the dream. And so I think people are ready to celebrate that at whatever level that may be. You know, we're in Minnesota, Iowa, North Dakota, wherever we go. You know, it's the same response because you start looking back with fondness. And I hope that's what's happening, that people are looking, and not just with the good times, but the bad times too. We live in a great place. And then for me, you know, I've traveled the world. I've been everywhere. And David, without fail, whenever we leave, Romania, India, Belfast, Ireland, you know, wherever we go, they'll say, "We love you. We're praying for America. God bless America." So it's not just here. It's everywhere. And I have to think it's that heartbeat of liberty that is just inherent in our creation.
So part of this show, you surprised me on part of it, because this one wasn't in the original outline. So when it happened, we were together in a recent videotaping of the show for a very vibrant live audience.
Oh, it was stacked.
Yeah, we had a home crowd.
Home crowd, yes.
Had a home crowd. It was great. You, early in the show, opened up with a Carpenters song.
Yeah.
What do you think it is about Carpenters music that gets everybody?
It's beautiful. People have great memories of dating back in that time period. Her voice is like butter. The music's timeless. And so
harmonies are
beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think everybody, whether they can or can't, that's not the point. I think we love to sing. And their songs are singable.
I never thought about that. They're really singable, aren't
they? Are.
We're not embarrassed singing them.
No.
Yeah. So we did a show last year, Christmas in America, and we chose the year 1973, and we couldn't get very far away from the Carpenters because they were just so big. And we found the same thing, that segment in the show. We did several Carpenters numbers. It's like off the charts.
I'm on the top of the world looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I've found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world.
Interesting thing about the Carpenters music, it energizes all kinds of people. I've got a friend who has an adult son who's got a very difficult case of autism. And at night, before he goes to bed at night, and he's in his 20s, grown guy. They play Carpenter's music every night.
What about that?
And that's
Just settles him.
Yeah. And he asked for Karen. He asked for Karen, and they sing the songs together. And it just, people don't realize how much power music has.
It does. When we hear the same testimony with just our genre music, the Southern Gospel Quartet fun songs, it releases in people the ability to express joy and to be like a kid again. And, deep down inside, we all want to believe there's somebody bigger than us and that we're loved, that we're safe. So good music, good art, not just music, but great art, I think speaks to those things. And that's why it's timeless and resonates and stays around for a while.
Your music unnerves us.
It should.
Yeah. And I was thinking the other day, we're talking about this, that Martin Luther called music the second most powerful force in the universe after the Word of God.
Absolutely.
I think that's really fascinating. So you and I are now in an age where music is everywhere. It's hit these buttons, hit those buttons. We were talking over lunch. Remember buying 45s?
I do.
Yeah, the original Spotify?
The original Spotify, that's right.
Man, I can remember going to the racks of the 45s, and you just wanted to get there before that one you're looking for is gone.
Yeah, as a kid, we were already playlisting. That's the big deal now.
Yes.
So, I'd playlist by taking the 45s, and that sleeve, you'd stack them up.
They would drop down.
So they'd play in the order that I wanted to hear them. So we're back there again.
You have always been an independent artist. Now, you've worked with many, many labels, and you've worked with a lot of people that have big, big organizations. But you've always had a way of doing things that has been your way. I'll give you an example. When you guys, after the cathedrals, when you guys started Ernie Haase Signature Sound, I can remember a quartet, a male vocal quartet that moved, that was white. These were white guys who were moving. And you just didn't move a little.
No.
You moved a lot. You remember those days?
I had the scar tissues on my knees to
you
show
have surgical proof?
I have surgical proof.
All right. So you moved a lot. Now, was that like an Elvis response from some people? Like, how can those boys move like that in a church? Right? Tell me about that.
Oh, yeah. We had that. My favorite story, I just repeated this to Lisa. She'd not heard the story. When we first started, there was from the more conservative side, they were like, what's got into him? What's he doing? Because I didn't move at all with cathedrals.
Come on, you were with the cathedrals. These
I
are
knew
like
my
the
role.
pillars of the industry.
And none of that was planned. Our very first show, I would say, was in Nashville at a little Nazarene church, and we had like 40 friends there, and the church probably wasn't much more than
Oh man, what I'd love to
75.
roll that back in a film
It was just
presentation
a test
right
market,
now.
It was just like
What time of year was it? You remember?
Yeah, it was probably we started officially in January of 2003. So it would have been January. It was cold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 40 people, Nazarene Church,
Yeah,
Nashville, Tennessee.
and I knew everybody there.
Okay.
We were going to our first official date. This was our practice date.
Okay.
And
Dress rehearsal.
dress rehearsal. So I called my father-in-law and said, "Hey, George, we're getting ready to go on. Is there anything that I can tell the guys that you would say to encourage us? Because we know everybody here, but we're really, really nervous." He said, "Just do what you feel in your heart, nothing more, but nothing less." That nothing less really resonated with me. So we went out, we opened up with whatever, and then did a spiritual called "Stand By Me," the second song. And right in the middle of that song, we looked at each other like, nothing more, nothing less. Let's go.
Now there's a time we feel alone. Although we've done no wrong. Oh Lord, stand by me. Stand by me, oh Lord, stand by me. While I walk this road to glory. Stand by me, oh Lord, stand by me. Help me to bear.
3 encores later, I learned pretty quick that we had something special, Contagious Joy, and I learned don't do that song the second song because you have nowhere else to go.
Now you're in trouble.
Now I'm in trouble. But it wasn't about proving to an industry or to any denomination. It just was an organic, contagious joy. And so the late, great Dr. Adrian Rogers told me, we talked a little bit after, and I said, I'm kind of struggling because this isn't what I really thought it would be. It's become something else. He said, don't ever make yourself sick to make somebody look healthy. You go do what you do and then trust God with it and see where he wants to take this.
You're listening to a special musical edition of The Public Square with Dave Zanotti and Ernie Haase. We'll be back for more after a short break.
We will be right back for more on The Public Square.
Welcome back to our special Public Square conversation with Ernie Haase. We pick back up with Ernie telling Dave about first meeting the newest and youngest member of Signature Sound, Christopher Taylor.
Yeah, we were in Fort Myers, Florida. We worked at Big Assembly of God Church there, and after the concert, he walked up. And he and his brother, and they had a list of 7 questions. Can we ask you 7 questions? I'm like, if hang around till everybody clears out, and maybe we'll get to a couple. You know, it was late.
When you mentioned me, you were beat. You were trying to get to the bus.
My knees and my back, and everything was hurting. And and it's because we're accessible. Every night there's somebody who wants to pitch you a song or sing you a song, and it's just, it just never really works that way.
Yeah.
But God's providence that night, after everybody cleared out, the question wasn't asked. He just said, I sing bass. I want you to hear me sing. It'd be an honor if you could hear me sing. And he put his phone to my ear. And immediately I was like,
so he plays you his audition tape in your ear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what he didn't know is that Paul Harkey and I, we've been talking. And Paul was ready to come off the road and be with his kids. They're all 12 and 14 years old.
Everybody loves Paul. He's been such an extraordinary blessing.
He's one of the dearest friends I have.
Yeah.
So
what a true spirit.
When we sat down and talked, Paul and I did, just like we're doing right now. And he was bawling his eyes out. I said, what's wrong? Did you get a doctor report? What happened? He goes, I just feel like my time's done. I said, okay. Well, I don't want you to be miserable. Have you found somebody for me? I mean, do you have this figured out? Yeah. And he says, no, but what about that kid you met last week? I said, yeah, he was good. He said, yeah, and seems like he's like a good kid. So I said, well, call him, reach out to him. And he did.
So Paul called Christopher. Yeah. Okay.
He took ownership of that position for 10 years, 12 years. He left a job. He brought his family from East Carolina to Nashville to work for me.
That's bold.
So he has to have a say on who's coming in after him. And then to Paul's credit, when I hired Chris, Paul stayed 3 more months to sing and to mentor him and to teach him the ropes.
How cool is
that? And I'm almost crying about it right now because typically that doesn't work that way. And to his credit, Paul Harkey, just the heart of a servant.
So is music a ministry or is it a business?
Well, the Hovey Lister line is yes, yes. If you don't take care of the business, you may not have a ministry.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't minister to people, then what are you doing? There are people come to our concerts that just beat up by life. The greatest medicine that we could ever give them is a chance to laugh and to smile and say, "Did you see what that guy just did? Just hit a little move there. Did you hear that note that guy just hit?" So sometimes we want to be real deep and philosophical with it. People just need joy. They need reminded of the hope.
Okay, so it's digital era. I don't have to go to a concert. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to leave the chair. I can just get all this.
Uh-huh.
So people still come. Why do they still come?
Yeah, I'm glad they do because after 2020, after the pandemic, I
wondered if they ever would.
I thought they would, and they have not to the level they were, and I'm not sure it ever will be. So I'm not crying over that. But I think people come to a live show because, I think it's scriptural. Forsake not the assembling of yourselves together as a matter of some in the last
so
days.
Is that like God magic or what? Because something happens when people are together.
I just think we're meant to be in community. Nobody is an island. And I think whether it's gospel-based or not, you can go to a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
And you can see Hamilton on Disney Plus. And it's the best version of a recorded Broadway musical that's ever been done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even
the same.
It's not the same as being there with other people and taking it all in. There is something, I hate to use the word magical, but there's just something really, really God-breathed when people get together like that.
One of the verses in the New Testament that Jesus speaks that flips me out. He says, where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there I am in the midst of them. Now, what's interesting is it couldn't be 0 because there'd be nobody there. He could have said, when one of you pray, I'm there, but that seems to be taken as granted. But we're 2, which is the smallest number of human assembly, right?
Right.
2. Or he could have said 2 or 2,000. He didn't. We're 2 or 3. In other words, I don't care how small the numbers are. If you're here looking for me, I'm finding you. I'm right there.
You got to have your personal walk.
Yeah.
You got to have your quiet time. But if it's beautiful and life-giving, you got to complete it by sharing it. You got to magnify it by sharing it.
Ernie, you think about all the religions in the world. Is there any faith walk, any faith journey, any presentation of an almighty figure that is imminent? In other words, he shows up. It's not us climbing endless stairs to get there. It's not us purging evil from our lives so that we become good enough to accelerate. No, he keeps coming down here.
Yep.
Because he's already here. And when we show up, he shows up.
Yep. Unfortunately, people's lived experiences, even in like a family gathering at Thanksgiving, it can get awkward really easy. And and you're like, I just want to live in my own corner of the world and tell everybody, go away, just go away. And
I like the food. Can I eat this in my chair by myself, please?
And you do need that quiet time between you and your God. But the more connecting points that you can find that leave your differences aside and come together and realize that that person's made in the image of God. And then I really believe that. It's just not lip service. Then the things that are different about them doesn't aggravate me nearly as much because I'm seeing a person. I'm seeing somebody made in the image of God. And then there's my connecting point. So it's not all the differences. It's that God image in each person. I would love after a concert for everybody to say, Jesus is the manifestation of God. I would love that. That's what I love to do. But as you go through life and as you go to the grocery store and whatever you do, you're not going to have 30 minutes with each person, but you can connect them to their creator in so many ways. And one of the greatest ways is music. Just singing and making somebody happy. Your countenance, have you been with Jesus? The old song says, if you've been with Jesus and you're happy, they'll know. It's like the disciples, they took note of them. Why? They could tell they'd been with Jesus.
They knew. And what's interesting about that is they were in a pressure situation. The people that were making that observation were against them.
Mm-hmm.
They were talking to the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the Sanhedrin, and they took note that these were nobodies from nowhere on the lower social order rung of life, but they had been with Jesus.
They had to take note. Something was resonating with those guys, and they're like, this is different.
How does this work?
How's this work?
How cool is that? Again, this is the imminent God. So
the imminent God.
Let me throw you pitched baseball in high school, right?
I did.
Yeah.
And 1 year of college too.
Is that right?
I did. I had a half
Right-hander or
scholarship.
left-hander?
Righty.
Righty. Okay.
I had a half scholarship out of high school to a Division II school, and I pitched for a year and a half music scholarship. As much as I loved it, I wanted to be in a quartet so bad.
No kidding.
Yeah. So
How come?
I got bit by the bug when I was 16. I saw the Cathedrals live in concert, and how many things as a teenager does I'm going to do that. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. I knew without a shadow of doubt that's what I'm going to do.
Those guys were superstars.
And
in that genre of music, they were just flat out superstars.
they were, but they were accessible.
Yeah.
And everything matters. David, everything matters. I tell my guys, I tell young groups that get started,
Matters.
the way you plug in the mics and tape the chords down, that matters. Because that's going to speak to somebody. Not everybody, but it'll speak to somebody. You may encourage them to become a production assistant, or, the way you tie your tie, the way everything matters. And just before we sat down here, Alan was talking to me about how we used the screen the other night and how it went into the curtains, and we lit the curtains.
Yeah.
That resonated with him. My wife probably never recognized it. So your job is to bring the imminent God into a personal way with everybody and connect with them. George and Glenn did that for me. I can remember their cologne, what they smelled like when I met them at the concert that night.
Get out of town.
I can.
Really?
I can remember
How old were you?
I was 16. So all those things resonated with me. Everything matters.
So let's go one step further there. First time you went on stage with the Cathedrals.
Mm-hmm.
Truth be told, how nervous were you?
30 minutes before, I was pretty nervous. About 5 minutes before, it was at the Tennessee Performing Arts Center in Nashville.
You started at TPAC.
My first
goodness.
night was at the TPAC in front of an illustrious crowd, and it was a Gaither event. So it was the Cathedrals. Larnell Harris
Sure.
was one of my heroes when it came to singing.
Monster voice.
Just a monster voice. Russ Taff was sitting there.
Oh, my goodness.
Jim Murray, Mike English, George and Glenn, Mila Lefevre.
Wow.
Jake Hess was on the front row. So my mom and dad, my brother came to encourage me and stuff. And George gave me some great words of wisdom beforehand. He said, hey, listen, I got you. Just end the song. Even if you mess up in the song, don't worry about that. Just end it. That's the last thing they're going to remember. I'm going to tee you up really high, basically, in his way of saying it. And boy, before I ever opened my mouth to sing, I mean, that crowd they were just on my side. They were like, everybody's pulling for this young kid. But I had a peace because right before we went on stage, Gloria Gaither stopped me. She said, let me pray for you.
Now, I'm learning now more and more about Gloria Gaither praying. It's like one of the most sought after experiences you could ask for in Christendom is to have Gloria Gaither pray for you.
It was simple. It was short. She prayed, Lord, give him your peace and let him have fun. This is a big night. Let him remember. Let him have fun. And then my brother was like, this job is yours unless you mess it up. And I'm like, don't mess up. And I'm like, okay. So it was my brother and I had that relationship.
Finish the song.
He gave his life's blood for even me. But death's chilling waters. One of these days I'll be crossing. Oh, but then his hand, it will lead me, gonna lead me safe on. Oh, but then I'll join that chorus in that great city. Then I'll sing of death.
We will be right back for more on the Public Square.
This is a special musical edition of The Public Square, featuring Dave Zanotti in conversation with Ernie Haase of Ernie Haase and Signature Sound.
You can't experience wins without the great possibility of being able to fail. And so that's never bothered me because of sports. I think that's a lot of the reasons because of sports. But I've seen that in my dad, who came from nothing and said, I'm not going to live that way. I'm going to live this way. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to provide for my family. We're going to be a Christian family. As for me and my house, we're going to do this. So it's just like, I've been blessed to have that kind of foundation in my life. And then to work for people like Squire Parsons, who just passed away, get ready to go sing at his funeral. A great mentor. Took me in when I was 19. Took me in to live at his house with his family. Taught me how to sing and write songs, and taught me the publishing company, taught me the record company. And then that was my first real paying job. And then George and Glenn. I went straight from there to George and Glenn. And then hanging out with Bill and Gloria. So, but all that said is this, that's not for me. Back to the community thing. That's for me to share and to use.
And you've always had a sense of responsibility about what this is all about.
Yeah.
I never, when watching your career, I've never seen you, I didn't think you were ever caught in the stars. Christian music is big compared to other genres, but we're not talking about the superstar, top of the heap, rock and roll Hall of Fame, but it's still big enough to get lost in.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to that, I remember when we started our record company, Stowtown Records, and we needed distribution. So I talked to a pretty major distributor, and he's like, I can't, but you need to talk to Sony, And so I just picked up the phone and called and got through. And the guy that picked up the phone, who was head of the marketing department, goes, Ernie, we have staff meeting every Wednesday, and 4 of us guys get together and sing Southern Gospel Quartet music. We sing Signature Sound songs. There's a lot of people in
Wow.
pop world and country world and all over the world that secretly just love
secret disciples. They're out there.
Secretly love Southern Gospel Quartet music. And then when you go to, we go to Latvia. I mean, do you remember?
Wait, Latvia. So you go to sing to reindeers. What are you saying? You're in the middle of Latvia.
Latvia, and there's a quartet called Signature Sound Latvia, and they call themselves a Southern Gospel Quartet. It's like the tissue. Kleenex is a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we just say Kleenex. It means tissue. But Southern Gospel used to mean a regional, Southern states thing. It's worldwide.
Yeah.
And so the sense of duty that I have is I just want to leave it better than I found it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to give people a chance that didn't feel like they belong. Everybody belongs.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to give everybody a platform and continue to do that and figure out how to broaden the platform so people can have a voice.
Yeah, but you got another curveball in your repertoire. You got more pitches. See, this is the thing, because since we've had the chance to start to work together, you have produced a number of shows that you have taken on the road and recorded and done videos and done albums that take the masterful voices and the artistry of the people that you work with into other fields, and you've had the daring to go out and book concerts and perform, like Inspiration on Broadway. That piece was magnificent.
It's fun, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh! And we traveled your show in a couple of different cities and a couple of different opportunities to completely different audiences, and watched how those songs from Broadway that touched everybody's life, even if they couldn't remember what show it was in, they knew the song and what was happening to people as you were touching those chords in their lives.
Walk on through the wind. Walk on through the rain.
every song cannot be made into a quartet song, but so we pick the songs, no matter what the theme-based show is, that lends itself to harmony. Mm-hmm. Harmony is very important for many, many reasons for me. And then while we're in that show or in that performing arts center or at this jazz club, we sing Southern gospel music.
Okay,
we're
jazz
singing
club.
Southern gospel music. We'll say, here's what we do. Here's our bread and butter. Would you like to hear a spiritual? Yeah, apply golf clap. By the time it's over with, they're on their
they're
feet.
roaring.
They're like, we didn't know Getaway Jordan.
Yeah.
We didn't know, swinging on the Golden Gate. So
Okay, but you jazz club.
Yeah.
You got to tell the story about Birdland.
That little club is one of the, if it's not the oldest jazz club in New York. On Monday night, they do a cast party. So it's like an open mic night. And so we were in there and I was like, holy cow, listen to that guy on the piano. It was Billy Stritch. And so he played for Tony Bennett. And it's a small venue. It seats about 250. So after it was over with, they're standing there. Like, I want to meet him. I want to meet the guy that played for Tony Bennett.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Ernie Haase. This is my producer, Wayne Haun. Uh-huh. Yeah. Man, I just enjoyed that tonight. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And he goes, I know who you are. And I didn't tell him who I was. You're them gospel boys, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. And then Wayne just blurted out, well, Ernie wants to do a record with you. I went, I do?
Of course Wayne would do that.
The next month, in the middle of July, we're in Manhattan recording a Christmas record with his trio as the basis of it. And so
That was on Stowtown. I've got that.
it's on Stowtown, Jazz Little Christmas. So, man, that was just a wonderful night. And all those years have passed, and we've been touring Jazzy Christmas to all the performing arts centers. And the owner called and said, won't you bring this back to Birdland, where it kind of like started. We're a gospel quartet. He goes, I know. He goes, you're not holy rollers, are you? I said, I don't even know what that means, but I don't think so. And he says, yeah, come on, do it. I said, well, what if somebody has a problem with it? He goes, well, they can leave. In that typical New York fashion. Have I sent you the video of that? I set up some cameras just for my mom and dad because they couldn't go. I'll send it to you. Man, it sold out. And for 75 minutes, we stood flat-footed on a stage that wasn't even bigger than this carpet right here and sang. And man, it was life-giving. The Spirit of God came in there, and we were able to sing seasonal songs and sacred songs. And there wasn't a dry eye in the house.
Silent as a snowflake in the night, holy is the Spirit of this night. All the world is calm and peaceful. All the world is bright and joyful. Spirit of love and child of peace, love unending that shall not cease. Peace, my children, all goodwill. Peace, my children, peace be still. Peace, my children, peace be
Back to our conversation between Dave Zanotti and Ernie Haase as they turn to the Christian concept of the imminence of Christ.
Well, I'll tell you the way that Pope John Paul II said it.
Okay.
Now, he quoted the church fathers in the early years of the church. And the terminology is a little bit risky for us today because we don't quite understand it in the way that it was written. But the concept that he talked about on the imminence of Christ in us is that when a true believer goes walking into a room, a second Christ is now in the room. Or you could say, we're really careful about that because there's no second Christ. There's no another Christ. I don't want to get into a doctor question. How do we say this? A member of Christ.
Can we say an ambassador?
An ambassador walks in the room.
Yeah.
We ask him, please, be with us, work through us. Shows up.
The late Timothy Keller, I love his way of saying things. His whole book on every good endeavor, which changed my life 12 years ago. I was really, really low. I just got off a plane, a little tiny island in Shetland, the Shetland Islands, and the promoter sensed something was wrong. He goes, "You need to read this book." And I probably have read it 15 times since.
Wow.
So, every good endeavor. And he puts it this way. He says, our original glory in the garden before the fall was to work, to get our hands dirty. We're gardeners. Tend it, cultivate it. God gave us this wonderful world. Now, be good.
Do something with it.
Do something with it. Make it, bring it back to me better.
Yeah.
And so that's what I feel with my music. But he said it this way. He goes, "But so how does that work for an airline pilot? How can I be a great Christian and be an airline pilot?"
Land the plane.
Land the plane. Land the plane. In every walk of life, we need people of quality. Birdland Jazz Club, they did not have us for any other reason than they thought that we could bring great music to them. Anything else that happened was a gift. But so for whether you're a production, a preacher, or a singer, what did Martin Luther say about the handmaid that milks the cow? God feeds the world through her fingers. Whatever you do, whether you eat, drink, sleep, do all to the glory of God. And I just believe that we're put on this earth to connect people to Him.
Wake up and feel the joy, break through the night. Wake up and step into the light.
Come on and wake up. Just shake your faith up.
Wake up and feel all the love of God shining on you. Come on and wake up. It's time to make up. Make up your mind that it's time to believe that it's true. Wake up, a whole new day is dawning for you.
Most people won't sing live anymore. They don't want to go out there and do that because the recorded versions are auto-tuned and near perfect. To go out and sing the way you guys sing,
It's scary because like an Olympic diver, they do their hardest dive first while their muscles are really, really, really fresh. A totally different way of thinking about it, but I've got to do my hardest, most difficult song last.
75 to 90 minutes in.
And so like as I get older and realize what I've got to do to keep that, and then leave some in the tank so that I can actually hit that song, "Oh, What a Savior." And I understand the trepidation of people who don't want to be caught in a bad moment, because as soon as that song starts, everybody's got their phone on, everybody's got their video on, and I'm like, nobody bats 1,000. If you think about it, it can undo you. But I tell you, God has been so good to me to give me so many experiences. My training, my mentors, everybody, at some point in time, you've got to paint the picture in your mind. You can't be singing just technique. Trust your training. Trust the process. Trust all of your great experiences, and then go out and make this one the best one yet. That's where I say the spirit of the living God, the magic of having people in a room together, not streaming, all that comes together. And for that one moment in time, it's the best ever. What was it, Eric Lindell, the Olympic runner? He says, God made me fast. And when I run,
Vital. Yeah.
I feel his pleasure.
Yes.
That's been on my mind all day.
Has it really?
Well,
that's a big deal around here
Yeah.
because the Chariots of Fire was a part of one of the feature stories that we did on Christmas in America.
Okay.
But there's another reason why it means so much. That song would be in your mind before you came here, because when we were opening one of our first offices outside the home state of Ohio, out here from Valley City, Ohio, in the Mission Center, I was scared to death. So we hold an event. I wish you could have come with me. We should have just had you perform. Well, Ernie, this event didn't go well. The room set up. We had to hire people we didn't know because we were in a new state. And it's like, yeah, okay, what's what we asked for. We told them what to do, but we're out of time. And I couldn't tweak it the way I wanted it. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. It went so wrong that, Norm Mulder, who's on our board of trustees, Norm sat up with me that night at the hotel until 4 a.m. And he said to my wife, he's never flopped an event before. I'm staying up with him all night if I have to. I could not sleep. I was so undone. All right, so we were teaching a class in the community in Naples, in a church at First Baptist Naples, actually. We were teaching a American mission class. Went back to the class 4 days after the event flopped. And a couple comes up to me, hands me their business card, and hands me an envelope with the business card. I thought it was a note. Coming to find out they had been at the event. So we went to out for lunch, and we were at a restaurant, and the music from Chariots of Fire started to play. I thought, oh yeah, it hurts my bowel. I got to open that note up. It was a check for $25,000 dedicated toward opening the new office in Florida. We'd never met these people before. No one knew their name. And when I hear that song, it's just like God smiles.
Jenny, you've got to understand. I believe that God made me for a purpose. For China. But he also made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure.
See, to me, that is the spirit of Ernie Haase's signature sound. Is God made you to sing.
These are some hard days. We've had some heartache, more than enough. Long are these cold nights. Feels like there's no light, and fear says give up. But I'm here to tell you, keep on keeping on. I'm here to tell you, God will make you strong. If all you've got left is just one more breath, rise up in faith, take one more step. I'm here to tell you, keep on keeping on.
It's the biggest birthday party in American history, and you're invited. Declaration 250 is happening right now, and the American Policy Roundtable has a series of events scheduled that you don't want to miss. Concerts, radio broadcasts, Kids on the Square podcasts, special products, and prayerful moments, all dedicated to celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. To find out about every opportunity ahead, please visit us at thepublicsquare.com and sign up for the APR monthly update. It's free, and we'll keep you up to date every month. Join the party at thepublicsquare.com.
Spreading the light of liberty across the land. Now back to the public square.
Welcome back to the final few minutes of this musical edition of The Public Square with Ernie Haase of Ernie Haase and Signature Sound.
Oh, wonderful Savior is Jesus, my Lord. Oh, wonderful Savior to me. He hideth my soul in the clefts of the rock, where rivers of pleasure I see. He hideth my soul in the clefts of the rock that shadows a dry, thirsty land. He hideth my life in the depths of His love and covers me there with His hand. He covers me there with His hand.
The first time that you and I met was in Nashville. It was at the Fanny Crosby Project with Integrity Records, and you guys had helped, were a part of the process of bringing those lost hymns of Fanny Crosby back to life. You went on to do a complete album based on that research, and so did we. And then Integrity had the first album that came out, and we all had parts in different pieces and parts in all of that. So we're hosting the premiere in Nashville, and you graciously say, yes, we'll come to the show and we'll sing the number that we did on the album. Now, that made a huge difference to everybody. It was a big deal. Okay, but you knew that song. I mean, you know a lot of songs, but you know, that was so we meet. This is so unfair. Okay, we're doing the show, and you've got a brand new guy. His first show.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That was Dustin's first show.
It was. Mm-hmm.
And he just had his first child.
Yes.
This is
Wow.
2010.
Man.
And I ask you, Ernie, you remember that song that Fanny Crosby wrote, Jesus, Keep Me Near the Cross?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do remember that now.
Okay.
Oh, man.
And I said to you, would you mind singing that? You had zero rehearsal time.
Yeah.
And you say, sure, guys, you want to sing that together? I think you might have had like one chance. Maybe. I asked you in rehearsal, would you consider it? You said, sure. There was like minuscule time between rehearsal and the performance. So you guys show up and you nail it. Oh, and by the way, it was a cappella.
Well, I want to thank you for being here. And if you don't mind, fellas, I know we didn't really make all the arrangements for this, but why don't you sing that for us?
Oh, you want to hear a little bit of that one?
Just a little bit, yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that a good key, Jeff? Let me see if I remember that first verse. Because it starts off with Jesus, keep me near the cross, and that's the title of it. But the chorus is in the cross. Jesus, keep me near the cross. There's a precious fountain, free to all the healing stream
rest beyond the river. Rest beyond the
Thank you, man. Bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for including us. God bless you.
Congratulations. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I play that all the time to remind me of how good something that's real can be.
That night, I remember that because my grandfather, who only had a second grade education, he would call on his lunch break, and for whatever reason, that was my go-to song. Paul Buddy is what I called him. I said, "Hey, Paul Buddy, sing me a song." "Oh, buddy, I can't sing." "Sing me a song." And I had a tape, a reel-to-reel I'd got for Christmas, and so I'd put that microphone up there. Jesus, keep me near the cross. There's a precious fountain, free to all, a healing stream flows from Calvary's mountain. And he would sing, and it wasn't perfect, but it made a lasting impression on that young, energetic kid that had big dreams. And that's what happened that night on the stage. You didn't know that, but in my mind, I was going back to my Paul Buddy. He was with me again, and he was singing to me again. And these songs are more than just notes and rhyme. They're soundtracks to our lives and to our spiritual walk. And so it's a very, very wonderful and powerful gift God has given us, the gift of rhythm and rhyme. And I am thrilled. Here I am, 60. A lady asked me this week at the doctor's office, "What do you do for a living?" I said, "You would never guess it." She goes, "What do you do?" I said, "I sing gospel music." Go get out of here, And so I've been able to make a living. I've been able to live indoors with indoor plumbing and have a beautiful family and a beautiful life and make beautiful connections like this because God gave the song. He is the song.
Thanks for listening to part one of this special musical journey today, featuring Dave Zanotti's exclusive conversation with Ernie Haase. Be on the lookout for part two of this conversation coming soon to stations near you and to thepublicsquare.com. For more information on where you can attend a live performance of America Land of Hopes and Dreams, please visit ErnieHaase.com. That's Ernie Haase, HAASE.com. And we'll see you next time on The Public Square.
The Public Square is a broadcast service of the American Policy Roundtable.